So this is the article from The Intercept. Democrats pessimistic on tax cuts. We've got what we've got for the next 30 years. In December, Republicans achieved their long-held dream of lowering taxes for the wealthy and corporations and increasing taxes on pretty much everyone else. Democrats were universal in their hostility towards this project, as the Trump administration has pulled off a PR coup with companies announcing Trump bonuses and workers seeing bumps in their take-home pay. The party has not yet formulated its response, nor have they suggested what they'll do when if they return to power. And it goes through a bunch of top Democrats. They have people like Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's running mate, on a topic. They got Joe Crowley, who supports militarization when he represents Missouri. You just don't do that. But even then, I mentioned the Trump bonuses. Unemployment's only going up, and you can actually attack how weak quite a few of those bonuses were. There was a woman Paul Ryan was bragging about who got an extra $1.50 a week. Oh my God, they could not have afforded that without a big giant tax cut. Or you could attack them on the fact that it isn't even really a tax cut. It's a tax increase for everyone making $75,000 or less a year. And there were tons of sunshine provisions put in there that expire if you're making less than that. But at the same time, the taxes for the rich, those never expire. You can attack their goofy process where they, no joke, included a private jet tax break. If you're rich enough to get a private jet, you don't need a tax break. Or how they, I kid you not, I covered this, by the way. When the bill was already printed out, they wrote other parts of the bill on the side of it with pencil. That happened. And then they gave them only 2 hours to debate. You could attack remember their atrocious American Health Care Act that thankfully did not get passed? Remember how it, no joke, had sections that tried to deny Medicare benefits to lottery winners, or had age-based tax credits for health care, meaning somebody like Bill Gates would get a bigger tax subsidy than somebody who was younger than him but making minimum wage. Or someone like Pat Robertson, who is at this point, I think, in his 90s, and one of the richest people of all time. He's a religious pastor. He's the one who runs 700 Club. He would get a bigger tax subsidy than a 17-year-old or a 24-year-old or a 30-year-old or even a 50-year-old who was making the minimum wage at that time. Oh my God, how do you not attack them on this? This is what the Democratic Party does. They put up the least blue meat, while meanwhile the Republicans only throw the reddest of the red meat at the base. What do you think of when you think of a Republican state? You probably think of Texas. Well, one of the Texas senators is Ted Cruz, who is the reddest of red meat. He goes out there, he praised Jesse Helms. He said net neutrality is like Obamacare for the internet. I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? It's just two conservative talking points. Obamacare is bad. Net neutrality is also bad. We need small government. I'm Ted Cruz. You know, he was talking about how much he wants to kill the Ayatollah back on his presidential run. And didn't seem to realize, well, that was an awful idea. You know, he loves military intervention. He's somewhat attacked neoconservatism on his presidential run, but that really wasn't all that much. He is still a huge interventionist, mind you. He said atheists should not be president. You know, just so on and so on. He was the reddest of the red. And was supported by all the mainstream pundits, all the Steven Crowders, all the Sean Hannitys, all the Ben Shapiro's, all the Glenn Becks. And he's a senator right now. He's a sitting senator. He's in his first term. His term will hopefully end this year, or next year. But yeah, the Republicans built him up. He was their establishment fallback during the entire 2016 presidential race. Meanwhile, what do you think when you think of a liberal state? You think of California. Now, who are California sitting senators? Well, the main Democratic senator is Dianne Feinstein, who is conservative. There's no nice way to put it. She's conservative. You know, she was against making the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. She voted for the Iraq War. She voted for the Bush tax cuts. It goes on and on and on. She attacked Warren, actually, for trying to create the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Remember that one? She went out there and defended Donald Trump. She voted with Trump and George W. Bush constantly. So you have, could you imagine if there was a solid red state and the Republicans put up a centrist? I couldn't. Or look at Illinois' 3rd district. That's a district that, according to all the strategists, a Democrat cannot lose. Who's the current representative? Dan Libinski. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He's been the representative since around 05, mind you. And he is a conservative. He is pro-life. He is against gay marriage, etc., etc., etc. Now, he supports the NSA spying on you. That's another one. He is against DACA. It just goes on. And right now, he's being challenged by Art Jones. And Art Jones looks like he has a serious chance of winning, who's a literal Nazi. He has sections on his campaign website saying the Holocaust didn't happen. He has the Confederate flag on his official Congress website. We covered that on the show. He says things like we should repeal the income tax. And one of the things he has on his website, one of his main campaign promises, I kid you not, pro-life, yes, homosexual agenda, no. Could you imagine if there was a solid red district, let's just say somewhere in Kansas, and Republicans put up some centrist who looked like he was being threatened by a communist who had the official USSR flag on their congressional website and had things like topple the bourgeoisie and redistribute America's wealth as their official campaign promises? And it looks like Arthur Jones has a serious chance of winning. And it will be all the Democrats' fault because they fell for centrism, they fell for neoliberalism, they fell for New Democrats. That's what the Democratic Party does, and that's why they're continuing to do this. I'm Ephrom, and good night.